Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Tiffany. I haven't said that in so long, but I'm really excited for this video because I think it's gonna be a really helpful video, especially for my nurses that are thinking about traveling or it's their first time traveling or doing a travel contract. I know it can be overwhelming, especially when you're trying to do it for the first time, planning it out, trying to find housing, trying to find everything, figure everything out. So I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks that I learned when I was finding my housing for my first travel assignment. Let's get started. Number one, and probably the best option that I would say is out there, is Furnished Finder. Furnished Finder is a website that is geared towards healthcare professionals, not just nurses, but pretty much everyone that places their property on Furnished Finders know that it's going to be some sort of healthcare personnel that's going to be looking into their housing. So it's kind of more trustworthy because you know it's specifically for like healthcare workers who are traveling. There are so many different healthcare positions that travel, so it's not just nurses. There's like obviously doctors, there's radiology techs, there's ultrasound techs, there's so many paramedics. It's really cool. I didn't know. The more you know, right? Number one, Furnished Finder, you're able to put your location, your budget, if you want a private housing, if you want just a room. It's a really great website, so I would say that is the first place you should look, is Furnished Finder. So number two is extended stay hotels. So there's Extended Stay America. I looked into that. That was one of the options I was really considering, but upon further investigation, I decided not to, just because it's literally like a hotel that you're gonna be living in for an extended period time. And I felt like it was more kind of like a kitchenette, depending on which one. There's some that have like an actual kitchen. You just always want to make sure that you're going to feel really comfortable in the place that you're staying. And in the location I was in, I didn't see myself being comfortable in that. It was kind of a little more run down, the ones that I saw, and it just wasn't the vibe. It just wasn't the vibe. However, there are some good ones. Like, they're there for a reason. You can also reach out to just hotels in general and ask if they have a discounted rate for nurses, or if you're going to be staying there for an extended time. Sometimes they'll work with you and give you a good rate, but sometimes it's just not worth the daily rate. You'll find a better option somewhere else. Number three, we have Airbnb. Airbnb can be a good option too, but if it's worth the rate. A lot of nurses will just use Airbnb, message the host and be like, hey, I'm gonna stay here for 3 months. Is there like a discount you can give me if I'm gonna stay here for that long? And then they'll give you a good rate. Número cuatro. Facebook groups. There are a ton of different Facebook groups. There's the Gypsy Nurse, there's like travel housing, especially if you type in like travel housing and then your city that you're gonna be in. There's a bunch of different Facebook groups. Not only, first of all, side note, that this is a great way to meet other people, other nurses that are gonna be traveling at the same time, but housing, you will just type in like, hey, I'm looking for a private room, I'm gonna be here for these months, and then you'll have like people that are also looking to rent out their rooms or rent out their house, and they'll be looking at those Facebook groups and they'll reach out to you. So that's actually how I found my landlord, Kit. She was amazing. I think she had a posting on Furnished Finder and then also Facebook too, so that's how we got connected. And then she emailed me, exchanged numbers, and that's how I found it. So Facebook groups, that's honestly a really great option. Number five is gonna be Zillow. I wouldn't say it's the best option, but if all of your other options are exhausted, you can look to Zillow to see if you can find someone who would be willing to rent their place out to you for 3 months. You could just reach out to them and be like, hey, I'm a travel nurse, I'm gonna be here for 3 months, would you be willing to rent out your place to me for this long, and go from there. So that, I would say, is like the last option. You have to reach out to all of these people. You have to really do your research. Don't just go for the first option you get. So don't wait to the last minute to find housing, because then you're just gonna have to settle on something that's expensive. And remember, if you're doing a travel assignment, you're going there to make money, not to spend a bunch of money on housing. Okay, so those were the options for housing. Next thing is things to consider. So do you want a private room in a house with roommates, or do you want a private place all to yourself, an apartment, a condo, a pool house? I ended up living in a pool house, which ended up working out because I felt safe since it was in the back of her house. I felt more safe. And then not only that, I had access to the pool, but everything that I had was in the pool house. So I had washer, dryer, I had the kitchen, my own bathroom, bedroom. It was like a little casita, she called it. So it had everything. And then the pool, I felt safe. It was in a great location. If you live in a private room, you risk not liking your roommates, the roommates being kind of weird. You know, if you've never lived with roommates, you know, your roommate habits, like if they don't wash the dishes, if they don't clean the kitchen area, if they leave it dirty, if they're doing laundry, you know, obviously you can't do laundry. Not only their habits, but their schedules too. So if they work night shift and you work day shift, you know, you're gonna be there during the day, but they're gonna be sleeping at night. So that's a bunch of things to consider. So if you are living in a private room, ask the landlord or ask the person in charge, like, oh, what are the schedules like for the other people? Because you want to be comfortable. You don't want to have to be like really quiet during the day. Like, it's just all depends. If you don't care, then go for it. But for me, I want to listen to my music during the day. Okay, next thing to consider is there a washer and dryer available to you? So the lady that reached out to me via Facebook actually had like 3 different properties that she was renting out to travel nurses. So once I got to Tucson, which was the city that I did my travel contract in, I actually toured one of the locations. And it was an apartment on the 2nd floor, but the only thing is, it was a cute apartment, but the only thing is that it didn't have a washer and dryer in the unit. The washer and dryer was on the 1st floor, and it was kind of like a community washer and dryer thing type deal. I didn't like that because I'm like, what if I want to do my laundry at night or something? Like, it's not going to be in the unit. I would have to like go downstairs, I would have to wait, and I just feel like that's not something that I would be comfortable with. Another thing to consider, safety. You want to choose a safe location. It's hard because you're going to be new to that city. You don't know which locations are safe, which are the good areas, which are the bad areas. When I was on Furnished Finder, I found a house that I liked, but when I was looking at the location on Google Maps, because that's something else you can do, like the street view, it did look a little sketchy. So that's why I didn't choose that location. Something else to consider is distance to the hospital, things around the house or the apartment. How far is it to your gym? How far is it to the freaking, for me it was how far is it from the car wash? Because girl, you already know the first thing I did when I got to Tucson was get me a car wash membership. Figure out your non-negotiables. For me, something that I really wanted, being a Florida girl, I was like, okay, I'm already not gonna have the beach. The beach was like 3 hours away. So I'm like, I at least would really like to have access to a pool. So when the option of the pool house came to me, I was like, okay. That's pretty much what I have to say in terms of finding housing for your travel assignment. It's a very exciting, nerve-wracking, stressful process, but you will get through it. And worst comes to worst, you stay in a hotel for a couple weeks until you can find a place that's gonna be a little more permanent. Good luck to you if you're getting started, if you're thinking about doing your first travel assignment. Such a fun experience, and you can have a bad experience, but every experience that you'll have is always like an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to learn. It's gonna be so fun. You'll do great. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below and I will do my best to answer them. That's it. I will see you guys later. I know some of you guys have been messaging me like, oh my god, when are you gonna post another video? And I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe you actually care enough to even comment this right now. So I'm back, baby. I'm back. I always say that. But I'm back for real this time. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later.